What if the echoes of ancient Rome weren't just found in ruins, but in the halls of global power today? What if one of history's most brilliant minds, Julius Caesar, was resurrected to lead our world in 2025? It sounds like science fiction, but let's explore this incredible what if. Forget time travel paradoxes. Imagine, through some twist of fate or technological marvel, Caesar is here, tasked with governing our hyper-connected, complex planet. How would this Roman general, a master of strategy and politics from 2 millennia ago, handle the challenges of the 21st century? The world he'd inherit is a far cry from the one he left. Instead of chariots, we have self-driving cars. Instead of legions marching on foot, we have drone warfare. And instead of messages delivered by horse, information travels at the speed of light. Caesar's first challenge wouldn't be conquering Gaul, but conquering the sheer complexity of modern society. He'd be facing global climate change, digital currencies, and the ever-present threat of nuclear weapons. His legendary adaptability would be put to the ultimate test. So, what's his first move? Caesar was a populist at heart, a man who understood the power of winning over the common people. He wouldn't hide in an ivory tower. Instead, he'd likely embark on a global tour, a modern-day triumph but with a twist. Using social media and 24/7 news, he'd deliver powerful, charismatic speeches, not just in a new Roman forum, but broadcast to billions. He'd promise stability, order, and prosperity, the Pax Romana rebranded for a new age. He'd connect with people directly, bypassing traditional political structures, much like he did with his soldiers and the plebeians of Rome. His cabinet would be fascinating. Caesar was a pragmatist who valued talent over lineage. He wouldn't surround himself with yes-men. He'd recruit the world's brightest minds, Nobel-winning scientists, visionary tech CEOs, top economists, and brilliant military strategists. Imagine a council with minds like these, guided by Caesar's decisive leadership. He would listen, absorb information at an incredible rate, and then make a swift, firm decision. Bureaucracy would be slashed. Inefficiency would be his sworn enemy. Infrastructure was a Roman specialty, and under Caesar, the world would see a building boom like never before. Forget just roads and aqueducts. We're talking about a global high-speed rail network connecting continents, massive green energy projects to combat climate change, and perhaps even ambitious space programs. He saw big projects as a way to employ the masses, stimulate the economy, and leave a lasting legacy. His motto wouldn't be, "Make Rome great again," but "Make humanity grand." He would think on a planetary scale. But what about our beloved freedoms? This is where things get complicated. Caesar was, after all, a dictator. He believed in centralized power and a single unifying vision. In Caesar's 2025, personal privacy might take a backseat to public security and efficiency. He'd likely embrace AI-powered surveillance systems, not for malicious control, but to predict social unrest, stop crime before it happens, and optimize public services. It would be a world of unprecedented safety and order, but at what cost? The debate between liberty and security would be the central conflict of his reign. His legal system would be streamlined. Caesar believed in clear, direct laws. He'd likely overhaul the tangled web of international law, creating a single, unified legal code for the entire globe, much like the Justinian Code that followed Roman tradition. It would be logical, efficient, and applied universally. Disputes between nations would be settled in a global court, with Caesar as the ultimate arbiter. Wars of conquest would be replaced by economic and cultural integration. Economically, he might implement a universal basic income, funded by a global tax on corporations. It's a modern version of Rome's grain dole, ensuring that every citizen has their basic needs met. This would foster stability and loyalty. He'd break up monopolies that stifle innovation, just as he challenged the entrenched power of the Roman Senate. He'd see a world economy not as a zero-sum game, but as a single engine that needs all its parts working together to achieve maximum power. What about culture? The Romans were masters of cultural assimilation. They didn't just conquer, they absorbed and integrated. Caesar would do the same. He wouldn't erase local cultures but would foster a new global identity. A modern Roman citizen wouldn't be from Italy, but from Earth. He'd sponsor global arts festivals, sporting events far grander than the Olympics, and educational exchange programs on a massive scale. The goal? To create a shared human experience, a sense that we are all part of one great empire. The empire of humanity. Of course, there would be resistance. Rebels and freedom fighters would rise, branding him a tyrant. Hacktivists would wage digital war against his centralized systems. People would fear the loss of their national identity and democratic rights. How would Caesar respond? Not with brute force alone. He was a master of soft power. He would use propaganda, but a sophisticated AI-driven version. He'd win hearts and minds by demonstrating that his system simply works. That life under his rule is safer, more prosperous, and more hopeful than the chaotic world that came before. Ultimately, a world under Caesar in 2025 would be a grand, terrifying, and awe-inspiring paradox. It would be a world of incredible progress and breathtaking ambition, but also one of diminished personal freedom. It forces us to ask a difficult question. What do we truly value most? The messy, chaotic, beautiful freedom of democracy, or the safety, stability, and grand vision of a benevolent dictator? Caesar's return wouldn't just change the world. It would force us to confront the very essence of what it means to be human in the 21st century. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through a reimagined history. If you enjoyed this thought experiment, please hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into fascinating what-ifs, and share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think would be Caesar's biggest challenge? Let me know. Until next time, stay curious.